All right. I'm also going to speak in English. I'm Canadian. And I apologize for not having a prepared speech, but I'm coming out of my flu bed because I agree with what I've heard today from many of the speakers. It is absolutely important that we get out of the comfort of our homes and come here together in solidarity and say enough. Enough with what's happening, one law after another. It's not just across the water, it's not just Trump, but it's also what's happening here. I mean, in April of last year, there was the Vreemdelingsact. There was a Welcomes Act saying that if you want to come to Belgium, you have to assimilate. Assimilate to a place that's now saying even those who have assimilated will not be safe, who cannot stay, who cannot feel at home. And I think no matter what happens with Francken's law, simply putting forward a law is putting forward fear and saying there are second-class citizens, there are people who don't belong and who can't feel comfortable. And it's that kind of fear that we have to stand up today and say no to. And stand together and get on the streets, and every day, not just today, and not just when it's easy, but every single day, when we hear something wrong, we need to stand up and say no. The first speaker said this, when we teach our children, we need to teach ourselves, right? When you hear something wrong, you stand up and you say, this is wrong, this is racism, this is sexism, this is not acceptable. I saw a poster on Facebook a few days ago that said in French, je suis déportable. I'm not sure exactly how to say it in Dutch. Ik ben deportbaar. In English, I'm deportable. I think it's really important we understand that we do learn, looking back at history, to say, as soon as we start pointing fingers at the people who are the most fragile, we've destroyed our own humanity and we've lost our own sense of what it means to be at home and included. So we are all deportable, we all stand together, and we must take care of the most fragile people in our societies. It's our responsibility. It's history that teaches us that. I also think it's important, I stand here, I recognize my privilege as a white woman, but I also have a background. I'm Jewish, my grandparents were kicked out of Poland, my parents were kicked out of Poland. I'm fortunate enough to be here, and I think it's important to recognize that while we all have our privileges, we also have our responsibilities to remember what happened in history. And I say here, as a Jew, also speaking on behalf of members of an ander Joods stem, that we know what history does to the other. We cannot let that happen again. No to the Muslim ban and no to Francken's law. And I think the last thing I want to say is, it's very dangerous for us to say, let's wait and see what's going to happen. It's already happening. The dehumanization, the separating us from them, that's already happening now. So it's now that we stand, now that we say no, we cannot wait. We must recognize it's already happening. So please stay here, protest, but do it again tomorrow. Do it again with your kids. Do it again at schools. At every moment we have to say enough is enough. Thanks.